Flockman.
Yes.
There.
All rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. We'll do a quick roll call here to determine quorum. Baumgartner, here. Evers, here. Ferguson,
Here.
I'm here. Howard, here. We do have a quorum. We'll call the meeting to order here. The first part of business here is the public forum portion. This is when we invite members of the public to address council. When addressing council, we ask you to please provide your name for the meeting record. Speaking time will be limited to 3 minutes. If there's any unfinished business afterwards, council can decide to put together a discussion item for it later on in the agenda, or we can direct staff to work on it offline. Is there anybody here to address council? Anybody virtually here to address council? Not seeing any movement there, we'll close down the public forum portion of the meeting and move down to the setting of the agenda. We've had the agenda here for a few days. If there's any additions to be made, any adjustments to the consent agenda, to be put into discussion items, now would be a great time. If everything looks good, we'll call for a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion. Second.
Motion's been made by Howard, seconded by Baumgartner to approve tonight's agenda as written. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is set as printed here. We'll move down to discussion item. The consent agenda. The consent agenda includes meeting minutes from the July 6th meeting, and then resolution 71, which is approving payment of an invoice from Freightliner Truck Center Companies for repairs to a city vehicle. Call for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda.
So move.
Second.
Motion's been made by Evers, seconded by Ferguson to approve the consent agenda as written. Any other discussion?
Real quick, was that multiple different repairs?
There's multiple different repairs. So when we first took in the truck, we expected it to be 4,000, 5,000. But when they opened it, they found more things that were wrong, which meant it creeped into the over 6,000, which means we need council approval. They were things that we couldn't put off repairing. We needed to repair it to pass a DOT check to make it worthy. So we had to go forward with it.
Good question. Anything else? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, consent agenda is approved as written. We'll move down to discussion items here. The first item on the discussion items is a public hearing for Ordinance 11, amending Chapter 152 of the Olivia City Code relating to access driveways. We'll begin this by taking some staff reports.
Yeah, so this issue you've seen before you, this is the second time. As you know, 2 different memos and resolutions have come forward to council this year asking for people to widen their driveways from what our code says is 24 feet. After the second one of these, Councilor Evers asked the Planning Commission to review this code to see if it could be adjusted. The Planning Commission reviewed it with input for our city engineers. Nobody had any objections. Widening that driveway from 24 feet to 36 feet wide, which is what you see here. It's noted that a lot of people, 3-car stalls are becoming more and more popular. So that is why we have that increase to 36.
Any, I know we talked about this a little bit a couple of weeks ago, but any other discussion here about that? We'll reach out to the public here. See if the public wants to have any conversation about Ordinance 11. Not seeing any action there. We'll close the public hearing here and move on to discussion item B, which is setting actually Ordinance 11, the amending of Chapter 152 of Olivia City Code relating to access driveways. At this point, we'll just call for a motion to approve the ordinance.
So
Second.
Motion's been made by Ferguson, seconded by Howard to approve Ordinance 11. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Ordinance 11 is approved as written. We're going to go through the same process here for Ordinance 12. Ordinance 12 is amending Chapter 152 pertaining to accessory building setbacks. We'll begin this with some staff reports.
Yeah, so as you can see, we're also amending the accessory building setbacks. So we're amending the fact that it doesn't necessarily need to be 10 feet away from a small, less than 200 square foot shed. These can now be closer to your garage, your attached garage. They don't have to be the 10 feet away from every single structure on your building. It's also conforming it with the side yard setbacks of the district. So before you can see a minimum of 10 feet from the side property line. Well, if you recall earlier this year, the side setbacks for R2 district were shortening from 10 feet to 5 feet. So we wanted to put this in compliance with that as well. So these were all coming to us again from a resident who is interested in this topic, and we re-examined it at the planning commission level to offer these changes.
Thank you very much. We'll reach out to the public here, see if they have any comment regarding ordinance 12. Not seeing any movement from the public here, so we'll close down the public hearing portion of the of ordinance 12 here. Move right into approving ordinance 12. We'll call for a motion to approve ordinance 12 and all its closed. So second motion's been made by Baumgartner, seconded by Evers to approve ordinance 12, amending chapter 152 pertaining to accessory building setbacks. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ordinance 12 passes as written. And now we'll have conversation about the alley.
Like played up super speed.
I was like, up
We've-
for engineering.
We've hashed it, I don't think, 3 times already.
Yes. It's always nice when it's that last one they go through.
Right.
But yeah, I'm just here to talk about the alley project that Justin presented a few weeks ago. And got approval for us to move forward with the design of the project. So I sent out the plans. I guess if anybody needs one, I do have a couple of months.
So pull it up here.
Oh, yes.
So
Thank you. My old eyes.
page Ken was referring to.
Yeah, so I'll just go through. So I don't know that this will be new to anybody. Assuming that you guys were all here last time, I guess. So first page is just title page. If we go to, I think the most valuable one would probably be page 7. It's just gonna go right to the improvements of the alley.
Is it?
So,
One more.
One more.
Yep. Thank you. So this is just showing the proposed improvements. So what we'd be doing is the alley between 8th Street and 9th Street, going north and south between Highway 212 and Depew Avenue. So we'd be replacing the pavement. So we'll take out the existing pavement that's there and then replace it with new pavement. Again, with all the asphalt, that's what's there now. We do show, I guess, covering the entire right of way. So there's a 20-foot right of way in this alley. So we would propose that the street reconstruction be inclusive of 18 feet. So it'd be a foot between where we would be excavating and building. We don't want to get too close to anybody's buildings. We don't want to cause any issues with that. Yes, they are old buildings, so we don't want to do anything with that. And then plus there are poles that are there. There's gas lines, meters, things like that too, that we would obviously leave in place. So we have 18 feet of reconstruction. So again, we'd be excavating out, so taking out the existing pavement, taking out the little gravel that is there, and be putting in gravel and then paving over the top of it to be similar to how we did the Depew Avenue project. But we'd be doing that with the alley, and then the shoulder is what we're calling it, between where the road reconstruction ends and the building. We would still ask that they pave that, and that would be a lot of handwork for the contractor. Not something that they've never done before. But that gives it a solid surface from building front to building front, and then it allows all the water in that alleyway to drain to the center and then to the south and out of the alley. So hopefully we won't have any rutting or anything that's there. I know that the pavement that's there is in pretty bad condition, which is part of why we're doing it. We do also know that the post office uses the alley that comes off of 8th Street and maybe Depew. I guess I'm not sure their route.
Primarily off of the Depew and then out to 212.
To 212, okay.
Yeah.
So we know that we'll have to work around the schedule with that, and that'll be something that we work with the contractor. So making sure that they have they, being the post office, have access to that alley. In the morning when I think when we talked to you before, Todd, that they are there pretty early, 6:30, and then they unload and then reload, and then they're gone by 11-ish. And that can all be something that's worked out with the contractor when the time comes. But we would make sure that we would coordinate with them so that they had access to that and it wouldn't impede on anything with the post office that's there. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the short of it. I know that, like I said, Justin kind of talked to you guys about it before. There are storm utilities in the alley and sanitary utilities. Nothing with that needs to be repaired. All that has kind of been taken care of in the past. So that'll all stay in place. So it's really just a road reconstruction. So it would be digging out what's there and putting in new. So total time, maybe a couple days in between start to finish. It kind of just depends on the contractor and when they can get in and out and pavement and all that good stuff. But
Is there any particular reason why you chose 1 foot on either side?
Just to get, I guess, the widest amount of road reconstructions to get a stable enough base for the road, knowing that there is a lot of truck traffic on that alley, mainly for the post office, and I'm not sure if there's anything else for the adjacent buildings.
That for printing place,
Sure.
they get trucks in there for their products.
Yep.
So there's
So-
quite a bit of truck traffic in that. area.
Yeah, and it is narrow. I mean, it's only 18 feet. So just making sure that we were making use of all of that space, getting that road. For that
Yeah.
road constructed.
The purpose of my question really is if there was 18 inches on either side as
Oh,
opposed to.
sure.
I
Yep.
mean, you know, if it was good, can
Yep.
we keep everything that's good to reduce the cost of new?
It's not.
It's not good.
It's not.
It's not.
Okay.
We had Craig
No.
do a pothole, so he dug down to see in a few different spots what was there. There's a lot of bituminous existing that's there, but underneath that is just dirt. There's not a lot of gravel that's underneath it, which is what gives you the support of the road itself. And from my understanding, it hasn't been done for quite some time. And I don't know when the last time more pavement was put on top of it, but just the more you add to it with the cracks that are already there, it's just gonna keep coming with that. So at this point, it would be better to just take everything out and put it in. But again, there's not anything I would say worth saving in the app.
Question. Any other question?
Does this show that you're gonna remove the one manhole that's up at 212 on the north side of that alley?
Correct. So there is a manhole that's there. It's a storm sewer manhole. Nothing comes into it and it doesn't go anywhere. So we are proposing to just take the casting off of it. We'll put a steel plate on it in the sub base. And the structure will stay in place, but it doesn't serve any purpose now. And it's more cost effective to just leave it in place than to have them take it out.
So it was like something that was there for a purpose at one point, but
It must have been when we looked at it
It's
with
like a
Craig. There must have been something that was there. There is a pipe that goes to the south, but we had Craig camera it and it only goes 2 feet and then it's cemented off. So there's nothing and there's no other pipes in that manhole. So I don't know what the point of it was, to be completely honest.
I don't know when they read it to 12, they probably just.
I would assume that it was maybe there and when that project was done, if you don't know, you don't want to take it away.
Yeah.
So if it gets put back in, but nothing was there. So I talked to Craig about it and he was fine with doing that. Again, there's nothing that drains into it. So they'll take that casting off, they'll steel plate it. You dig down under the pavement, you'll find the structure, but aside from that, you won't know that it's there. The other two structures that are kind of in that alleyway that would go either to Dowling Square or to 8th Street. Those two will just be adjusted to match the pavement height that we're proposing. So they'll take those castings off and then just put.
And that the one near Dowling Square has been fixed, correct? When they did all the work in that square. At one point, I know the pitch on that was the wrong way. They're trying to get water to go uphill.
Okay,
And there was a problem with the water sitting in Dowling Square because the pipe was pitched in the wrong direction.
I guess that I don't, so I know when we did Dowling Square, you were draining water from Dowling Square to that structure. But if it's not draining from that structure out, this is knowledge.
No, Dowling Square was where the problem was.
Yeah.
That one that was pitched. in the
Okay,
wrong
yes, and
direction.
that has been fixed. Yeah, yeah, yes. I was thinking the one For people, it's like, nope, we didn't. Yeah.
We only touched Alex.
Yeah. Oh my God. But yeah, that has been fixed.
Yes.
And then now nothing will change as far as the in place utilities, so aside from the castings. And then I kind of mentioned it, let's see, what page is it on? We're proposing an inverted crown, so different than your typical, on page 5, different than your typical street section. Typically, it will drain out to your curb, but we don't have a curb here. We have buildings that we don't want it to drain to. So we did an inverted crown, so it'll drain to the center and then down the alleyway. Again, we want to keep the water away from the buildings.
Makes sense.
And then this also shows kind of that pavement. You can see here, like this is our proposed improvement pavement section, and then this is just the shoulder that they'll do by hand. So just that foot from the edge of pavement to the building. Just to make sure that everything is covered and that any water would drain.
You said this will be about 2 weeks?
For when, like, for them to do it, I think it would only take a week total, probably a couple days, honestly, in and out for them to do it, because they'll take it out. They'll take everything out, they'll excavate down, they'll have to put the gravel back in, and we'll have to make sure that the post office has access to everything too. So should be a pretty quick turnaround. There might be a day where it's gravel versus pavement, but they can still drive on that by any means. And then when they come in to pave, and then it would just be that day, they would pave it.
Good.
Any more construction or questions about the construction? Otherwise, then we had a cost estimate, which I know is the most riveting part, right? I guess.
The only part on that,
No. Well, that,
I mean,
sweet, right?
Well, as long as those drain plug, those drains never get plugged.
That's right.
Because of that inverted
Yes.
crown.
Yep.
Can you see that?
in
Should
the
I
fall,
zoom in
it's
one more
gonna
time?
put that thing into in winter, it'll turn that into a skating.
There is enough fall from, I'll say, like the highway to Depew, that water should not sit
Yeah.
in the alley.
Yeah, it makes on.
It goes down in a pretty clip.
Mm-hmm.
So, otherwise, here's a cost estimate, so it kind of breaks down each item that we would have for the contractors. Total construction costs were at $75,816.22. Don't forget that 22 cents. The project related cost of $13,600 is what you guys had already approved at the previous meeting. But just wanted to include it as a total project cost. So total project, you're at $89,416. Again, these are just estimates based on what we were seeing on other projects. I guess the purpose of tonight is to get approval of our plans and then an approval for S.E.H to solicit to contractors for quotes. We would just probably hit up our typical contractors that we have for the area. So MR Paving, I know, has done work in Olivia, as has Allied Blacktop, Pearson Brothers, and Dunnick would probably be the 4 that we would send for quotes. And then we would bring it back to council on August 17th for you guys to look at what quotes we have, and at that time award the lowest bidder and move forward with the project. We would still anticipate end of summer, early fall for construction. It's a smaller project, so it probably would work out really well. At this point, contractors know what they have for work already, and this would kind of be a good filler.
and the funding for this, Elizabeth, here.
The funding goes from, we split it in a couple of different ways, the transportation advancement account, which is small cities assistance. We anticipate having $62,700 in that at the end of the year to contribute to this project. It's specifically for local road improvement projects. The remaining of the portions would be split between our utility funds, storm sewer bearing the largest portion of this project. Most of it ties into the storm sewer. As well as then split between electric, water, and wastewater.
Any other questions from council on funding or execution?
That funding, is that federal or is it state?
State.
Okay.
It's tax revenue from auto part sales.
Yes, we like it.
All better.
Okay, well, then I'll call for a motion to approve the project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the project and work with Kendra to find contractors for it.
Perfect. So yeah, we will send that out this week to contractors. And then we'll ask them to submit a quote prior to the meeting, and then either Justin or myself will submit it or present it, sorry, to the council on the 17th. We are planning. So.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Perfect. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Kendra.
We look forward to having you back on August 17th.
Yes, it'll be here before we know it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I can't believe it's already been.
I know, shh.
No. Okay, we have a number of notices and communications. Oh, I'm sorry, we're gonna,
yeah.
committee reports. Any committee reports?
Okay.
We don't. All right, any other reports from council? Any reports from staff?
I just wanted to give you all an update that was brought to council a number of public forums ago regarding westward access to the clinic building that's just south of Traditions. I just want to give you all an update. The county, the hospital, and the city are in very productive discussions to resolve this issue. And also with our lawyers, Pam is on the call. So we've been talking to all the right people. Everybody wants to find a good resolution to this issue, and I think these are really productive discussions and hope to have it resolved within the next few months here. And the developer is on board too, so.
Thank you.
With Pam being on the call, has there been any progress made as far as the tire issue?
With the nuisances, I know that they've received a notice, and I believe that issue is also being investigated by our city prosecutor's office. So Pam is our civil attorney. The city prosecutor is also looking into that issue.
There been any looking as far as we talked about the ordinance where a previous city council dealt with the accumulation of tires at Olivia Tire and put something in place at one point or another that made them clean up the tires in a timely manner. Why can't we get them cleaned up from a residential place?
I have not had time to follow up on that issue, but I'll make a note to follow up on that issue.
You went after a business in a business district and it was handled in a timely manner, but yet we got one in a residential district and it's taken forever.
We can look into the history of that.
Okay, we have some notices and communications here.
Yeah, so we put up the Corn Capital Day schedule on the screen. Festivities kick off today, kick off right now. Kind of impressed that Mr. Okins is on the line. I know he's also committed to the Bull Dinner Theater, Farce of Habit, that kicks off today and goes Tuesday and Wednesday. So 3 times to check out that great group. You'll see various different fun events and activities. Of course, this event is not possible without community involvement and community engagement, particularly at the financial level. Fireworks are not cheap. So if you have not yet supported Corn Capital Days by buying raffle tickets or a t-shirt, I would encourage everyone to do so to help keep this community tradition alive. The fireworks will be launched on Friday around dusk. So probably closer to like 9:30, 9:45. So we hope everyone will enjoy the return of those. Any questions about Corn Capital Days?
No, but my daughter sent me a picture of the Renville County Shopper, has a whole page
Oh,
Excellent.
of the Corn Capital Days, just to let everyone know. If
Wonderful.
you wanna take it off, rip it out and put it on your fridge, so you don't forget what you wanted to go to. Maybe highlight for sure what you wanna do, and there's always so much fun things going on around the area, so.
It's really fun. Lots of fun event. Filing for city council ends July 28th. So on the ballot will be the mayor position and 2 council members. So we encourage you, for anybody who is interested, to please file with our wonderful city clerk, Jasmine Miller, during normal business hours of City Hall.
The mayor position will be open, so keep that in mind, folks.
And then I also just wanted to direct your attention at our next meeting, August 3rd. We will be having airport work session after our regular meeting. We have our airport engineers from S.E.H coming in. We're going to do an earlier meeting with MnDOT to kind of talk about the long-term plan for the airport. And in my discussions with the engineers, I realized that we have had a different group now around City Council. So I want to confirm that the long-term airport plan that was established probably by many of your predecessors is still the way we want to go. And just to clue you all in on what's on that plan. So the plan that we provide with the engineers that we create determines what type of grant funding we go after. We can't apply for a grant for something that's not on the list. And so that's why this long-term list is very important and appropriate for review. So they're going to come here just to have a work session about what you all would like to see at your airport here in the city. So it'll be fun. And a friendly reminder, we decided on September 3rd for the budget meeting. Starting at 4 to maybe be done before 11 p.m.
Not gonna happen, man. Second, sorry. Okay,
So that's what I have.
September 3rd?
Yes, that Thursday. Yes. Dinner will be provided. You'll each have your own table to work from like you did last time.
we will earn it.
Don't cook meal by Jasmine.
Can be
Max grill.
rage eating.
Yeah,
So if there are any other things that you can recall that would make the budget work session more enjoyable in terms of do you need other materials produced than what has been produced in the past, please reach out to me offline and we'll see what we can accommodate.
Very good, thank you. With no other business on the agenda, I'll call for a motion to adjourn. Motion's been made by Ever, seconded by Howard to adjourn. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.